There were billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, spinning and sparkling like jewels in the black night. In the center of your Milky Way, my gravity became so powerful that it turned into a black hole. Uh-oh. Everything near the black hole, stars, dust clouds, and even light, got trapped and sucked in. It all swirled into the black hole's mysterious dark depths, just as water swirls and disappears down a bathtub drain. Mysterious black holes appeared at the center of many galaxies. Where did all that stuff go? Is it stuck inside? Did I do something wrong? Or are black holes really secret passageways into other universes? All that stuff has to be somewhere because nothing ever really disappears. After a while, the black holes sucked up all the nearby stars that their gravity could reach. Then they settled down and became quiet. Your Milky Way, and billions of other galaxies too, were growing up. Mind you, my dear Earthling, your Milky Way is one tiny neighborhood in my vast expanse. Even though your galaxy is very special, I care equally for all my galaxies. Every one of them is part of me. In fact, they all are me. Luckily, lots and lots of young stars hadn't been sucked into black holes. In one of the Milky Way's spiraling arms, one mother star, very important to you, grew into a shimmering, majestic giant. She lived long before your sun was born and was much, much bigger than your sun would be. Inside her enormous, blazing belly, she did something incredible. Your mother star mixed together bunches of hydrogen and baked them at 3 billion degrees into lots of different new elements, or building blocks. One of these new elements was carbon. One day, chains of carbon called DNA would carry instructions from one generation to the next for how each living thing should grow. Another new element was oxygen. One day, oxygen would combine with hydrogen to make one of my most magnificent things, water. And where would you be without oxygen to breathe and water to drink? Yet another was calcium. Calcium can be really hard stuff. How useful for making bones. Carbon, oxygen, and calcium can't be made on Earth because it's much too cool. Every atom of these elements was fused inside a colossal mother star. Was I proud of her new elements? You bet I was. Before your own star could be born, the one you call the sun, your mother star had to die. Your mother star ripped herself apart in a massive explosion, a supernova. Tiny specks of carbon, oxygen, and calcium, and all the other new building blocks she made, blasted into space and cooled into stardust. Her stardust was the same stardust that would one day come together to create you. You are made of stardust. Every bit of it exploded from your ancient mother star, who no longer lives. I was about 7 billion years old when she died. Inside the cloud of stardust, a little gravity tugged from each speck, making them gently stick together in little clumps. The little clumps clumped together into bigger clumps. The bigger clumps crashed into each other and stayed together. They swirled into a disc shape, faster and faster, hotter and denser, tighter and brighter, until finally, whoosh! Your sun flared into life. Born too from clumps of stardust were 9 young planetary pups. The planets tagged along after Father Sun, but they were smaller and had no light of their own. Planets depend on the sun's generosity, just as human children depend on their parents for food and shelter. Oh, how I delighted as your sun sent light and warmth to its planets. By now you know, everything within me is giving and receiving. And when things team up with each other, they morph into even more spectacular forms. Just as particles create hydrogen by sticking together, Hydrogen clouds compress themselves into stars, and stars gather in gleaming galaxies. To use human language, you might say that I, the universe, am loving myself through everything that is playing and working together, even the tiny particles teaming up to form you. There I go again, talking about Earthlings long before they existed. Do you want to know what has always propelled my adventure forward? It's giving and receiving, and it's playing and working together. The third pup inside the young planetary pack, your Earth, was a burning red ball of molten stardust. I was about 8.5 billion years old when your Earth was born. She was a high-energy young pup cruising around your sun. Erupting volcanoes spewed steam and other gases. The steam turned to rain, and the rain formed vast oceans. Other gases rose up and became the air. Lightning storms zapped her seas with energy. Meteors and comets crashed into her for millions of years. Slowly, slowly, she cooled down and formed a firm, crusty surface. A hungry young planet, she drank light and warmth from her golden sun, her source of life in the midst of cold, dark space. Sun and Earth began their rhythmic dances of day and night, spring, summer, fall, and winter. The ocean bubbled and boiled. Hot red rocks oozed up through rips in the ocean floor. What would I, the universe, turn myself into next? This was exciting. I remembered my wild and dazzling dreams of galaxies and stars and planets. Now I had them. Or maybe I should say, now I was them. But wait. I remembered another dream too. I remembered creatures slicing through water, creeping on plants, crawling on rocks, soaring on winds and gazing at stars. You were there too. Oh, how I longed to become creatures, including you. Would this be a good place for creatures to begin to twitch and multiply? Did I have enough building blocks to turn myself into creatures? Let's see. I had made hydrogen a long, long time ago, and inside Mother's stars, I had made carbon, oxygen, calcium, and a whole bunch of other building blocks. And then I had brought hydrogen and oxygen together to form water. Maybe I was ready. Of course, dear Earthling, my story, our story, doesn't end there. So much still had to happen before I could turn myself into you. In my next story, your planet Earth comes alive. But that will have to wait for another day. Until we talk again, I send you my very best from the cosmos. Remember, I'm always with you. My sweet Earthling, I will tell you a secret. I'm even closer to you than that. It's true. I am you. Love, the universe. So next time, we're going to read this story, which is about life coming to Earth, the plants and animals. And I can't wait to share it with you. Please let me know if you have questions, and I hope I see you soon. Thanks.